Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Fabulites. This is Angela. I got a pimple on my face. I know I'm having issues. This weather is like hot, well, not hot, but cold and dry, and whoo, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I have questions for you, Fabulites. It's Angela, and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Are you watching Making a Model? Did you enjoy it? What do you think? Are you thinking about seeing it? I saw it yesterday because my mother was just so excited about it, so we watched it together. It's a show about mothers and daughters in the modeling world. So me and my mother watched it together. It's called Making a Model. It's on Lifetime, and it has a woman named Yolanda. Yolanda I met on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or something like that. By that time I was basically weaning myself off of reality shows that didn't have black casts, because there are so many with black casts, and I just figure I have an abundance of shows to watch. So drama is drama. I might as, but anyway. So I do remember her. I remember her having health issues. I remember not really being sure. Some of the people were kind of like, does she have health issues, or are they fake health issues that she's just using to get attention? I saw her on a show the other day saying that, she and her husband were divorced, I think, and that she lives on a ranch or a farm with 25 acres around her. She's basically like, into whole foods and wholesome living, and she's a wholesome person. And I was like, what? From the house? I was just kind of like, okay. But we had kind of already, my mother was already excited about this show. I wasn't excited because I'm like, it's one little brown girl on there, and her mama is white, or looks white, appears to be white. So I ended up watching it, and I enjoyed it. So I can't say, well, it started off with us meeting the girls and meeting the crew, and it ended up with one of the girls saying, I'm not crying, but I deserve to cry because I came in second. So it's Making a Model on Lifetime. So right at the beginning, we meet two people. There's Stefan, I think his name is, and he's the creative director for Yolanda, and also a woman named Allie. Oh, the other thing that I forgot to mention is that Yolanda is the mother of Gigi Hadid and Bella Hadid, who are these like famous models. And I guess that before they were famous models, they were like Instagram famous. So I've heard their names. I think one of them dated The Weeknd or some black performer. I'm not sure. I don't really follow them, but I have heard their names before, and she's their mama. So the thing is, she helped her children, do it, and she gonna help these girls do it. So it's gonna be 5 girls. 2 of them are brown. One of them looked Asian, Eurasian, something, and then the other, and then it's and then it's an 8-week boot camp for grooming, and I liked immediately Miss Yolanda said that the mothers are the foundation of the well-being of the child. In the whole show, she came across as she and her daughter came across really well as very sane. Hold on one second. Can I hold on? As very sane and nice people. So I was kind of like, it was pleasant. I like that. We find out that it's set in New York City. So the people are going to be arriving tomorrow when we meet them. It's the first thing that they're going to have is a go-see. And, she's like, usually a go-see is like a 2-minute meeting with a very important client. And it's an opportunity to impress a client. And I'm going to be the client, the very important client, says Yolanda. Who, when we met her on The Housewives, she was divorced from the Hadid and married somebody else who since I think they've divorced as well. So we meet the five, they're all girls, the young women and their moms. So the first one we meet are 2 blondes. One is called Lillian. She's 15. She's the daughter. And then her mom is Kat, and she's blonde as well. And then when Yolanda met Lillian, she asked, well, do you get along with everyone? Or somebody asked, do you get along with everyone? Yolanda, I think it was. And Lillian was like, I try, and that's when I knew, I'm like, oh, she's not really a get along kind of girl. And then I think they showed some footage of her being like, if I have to say, she seemed kind of combative or like ready to argue, and it's like, what's there to argue about, girl? You a white blonde model girl in the United States. Be happy, girl. And then we meet Athena. She's a brown girl with curly hair. And we meet Diana. She appears to be a white woman, a brunette. We find out that Miss Diana has 7 children with her brown hubby. Her hubby looks brown too. So that's like awesome and amazing to me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, 7. Wow. That's like, wow. Athena seems, so we meet them. Then we meet Brianna. She's the one who looks Asian in some shots and from some angles. And her mom, Jessica, is blonde, but she also kind of looks, at some time I'm kind of like, is she? And there's this look, like there's this Eastern European look to me that also looks Asian. I know that sounds weird because somehow in my mind they like don't connect, but there is a part in the world where Europe and Asia connect. So I don't know, but these two, Brianna and Jessica, are very laughy and high energy. They seem like fun, nice, I like them. And then we have Michaela. She's a brown girl. She's 16. Brianna is 13. Athena is 13. Lillian is 15. Okay, so those are the girls so far. And then we have Karen, and she's brown too. So we got a brown baby and a brown mama. Woo! I'm so excited. Now they're on the lighter skin side, but they look, brown. Like, I'm like, they look, if somebody told me they was black, I would not be surprised. So I'm calling them brown because they ain't dark, but they ain't so light that you're like, I think they might be of color, right? They're from Chicago. Both of the girls, the brown girls, Athena and Michaela, have curly hair. Michaela writes music. Both Michaela and her mother Karen seem very sweet. Michaela seems like she has a very active life, so I like that. I like a young woman who's healthy, who has a healthy, active, life that keep them busy. They stay away from them boys. And then we meet Mackenzie. She's 14, and her mother, Teresa. And Teresa speaks for her and explains that she's very shy and has social anxiety. And then Yolanda kind of starts interviewing her and talking to her. But Teresa, her mother, was saying that she was kind of like dead in a way. And then when she got in front of the camera, she came alive. And then there's something about Teresa's compulsive spoiling of Mackenzie that I have written down. So I don't know what that means. But when I first met them, I had one impression, like, oh, the child has extreme social anxiety and the mother, is here for her. But as the show evolved, it kind of seemed like the child was a little spoiled and a little bit like on the, I was kind of like, I don't really know if I like this young lady so much. She's not giving me the best feeling, the best, impression. So then we find out that at 5 p.m., after they go to their go-sees with Yolanda at the office, they're to go back to the model loft. And then at 5 o'clock, they're going to, or not model house, they're going to meet with Yolanda at the model house. And we see folks arriving at the model house in their bunk beds. And one of the people says, for some reason, I thought we would have our own room. And I'm like, well, on the Rap Game, they have their own rooms. I mean, I don't know why I don't know. But, New York real estate is a little different from where they filming the Rap Game in Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta, that's a whole different thing. So then they get called together, I think by Allie. And, when they come in, they're talking to Allie or whatever. And then in comes Yolanda with one of her famous daughters. I didn't know which one it was, but it turns out it was Bella Hadid. The children and the mommies are very exciting, I noticed that Yolanda is sitting on the floor. I like to sit on the floor. I don't mind, or a lot of times I prefer to sit on the floor, but I like to see that. It did give me the sense and the feeling and the impression of her being down to earth. And when I was wondering before, like, and when I saw her in the interview, I'm like, well, is she really as down to earth as she seems? Or, is that just a front but it's kind of like if you are really not like a live out in the country person, you're not going to live out in the country on 25 acres just to fake the funk. Try to, so I think she probably is probably a pretty down to earth, person. And she says that this is not a competition where we elbow other women out of the way. There's enough room and light for us all to shine. And I'm like, go ahead, Yolanda, talk that talk. I like that. I like that. And then moms are bonding, and Bella says some nice stuff too. She seems like a nice young lady, and the mama seems nice, and Mama Yolanda seems nice. So I'm kind of like, okay, I don't know much about Bella Hadid and Gigi, and I guess I always I don't know if I want to say dislike them, but I'm like, I just assume they would be like shallow, mean girl types. I don't know why. You see how shallow and mean I am to just be making assumptions about people, and what they say about assumptions. It makes a butt out of you and me. Okay, so anyway, then they have, kind of like in the next section, the moms are in one area and they're bonding, and I guess the girls are in another area and they're bonding. And, I'm wondering if Jessica is Asian, Eurasian too. And we find out that they have had a frozen embryo. Jessica the mama for like 5 years. So that's kind of intense. Jessica is the blonde mom of the, and they, so I'm kind of like, and the mamas are like, don't be looking at me to birth your baby. And, I guess they're going to get a surrogate for it because the husband wants to have more. I don't know. But anyway, and then we see the girls bonding, and, it's kind of like, I think 2 of the girls stood out. I don't know if that was editing or whatever, but Lillian and one of the brown girls seemed a bit on the competitive side. Like they didn't quite seem like they had bought into or understood, that there's plenty of room for all of us in this world to shine. We don't have to tear down anybody else, and but that's okay. And then there's going to be a challenge. They have a challenge that's given to them by Allie. They have 15 minutes, or not a challenge, but an assignment. They have 15 minutes to get an outfit that is representative of them, and they have to get in, track, and go. Oh, so they have 15 minutes to get it together, and then they get in a truck and they go to Times Square, New York. And they have 30 minutes, they find out, to produce an image that shows their unique, shows who they are. And the moms are the creative directors for this assignment. Their budget is $50, and they'll get $5,000 if they win. So, then in the next part, we kind of see Yolanda and Allie, I think, going around and kind of observing the couples at work. So the first couple we see is Athena and her mom, Diana, and the mom is like, well, we'll just do the pictures now. We don't need the $50. Like they not going to be trying to like run all over the place and spend $50. They got what they need. They good. And shoot, plus if they keep the $50, win or lose, they got $50. I'm just joking. And then we see Kat and Lillian, and Yolanda mentions that she feels that Kat is very heavy-handed and over the top in her handling of her daughter Lillian. And then we go back to Athena and her mom, and the daughter, Athena, the young curly hair girl, is kind of expressing that she's overwhelmed because there's so many people and she's feeling nervous. And Yolanda comments on the fact that she's a 13-year-old. She comments to Allie, like Allison, that, that girl is 13 years old and she is in those high heels. And I think, that's making her uncomfortable. And I think that her mom made the wrong choice. That's what Yolanda is saying. And then we see Mackenzie, the young model Mackenzie does not seem to be Mackenzie. Oh, she's the one who's supposed to be very shy and have social anxiety. She's not really very receptive to her mother's creative direction. Like her mother is like, do this, do that. Mackenzie is like, I don't want to. I'm going to do this. Shut up. Do what I say, or whatever. She's like very like, like not only as a daughter is she not receptive to her mother's leadership, but like her mother is the creative director. So she should be doubly receptive to her mother's leadership in this situation. But we see that she isn't. And then I'm like, okay, is that Brianna and Jessica fighting and arguing on the street? And yes, it is. And Brianna and Jessica are, that's the Brianna is like the Asian looking girl. And then Jessica is her mom. And Yolanda is like, well, the mom is pushing for what the mother wants instead of advocating for her daughter. And why is this 13-year-old also in heels? So I like that she doesn't want these, because it's like, you've heard in the modeling industry of people taking these 13-year-old girls and dressing them up and presenting them so that they look like they 21, 25 grown women. And I like that Yolanda is at least advocating for this idea of they are girls and they should basically be, doing girl things. And then we see Karen and Michaela, and Michaela has on flats. Karen and Michaela, that's the brown mama and the brown baby. And the mom is enthusiastic and Michaela is receptive. So it's a good look for them. We like that. And then we see Jessica, and Jessica is, that's that's Mackenzie. Oh no, Jessica. Who is Jessica? Oh, that's the Asian, the kind of Asian looking Brianna and Jessica. Jessica is chastising her daughter. You're not taking it seriously. And the daughter, Brianna is like, I am taking it seriously. I just don't like jumping in high heels because she on the steps and her mother wants her to jump. And she like, I don't want to jump. And, so she's saying, she did express that she is not comfortable in those high heels jumping and carrying on. Then Michaela we find out from Karen that Michaela is the only girl in the group who is not being homeschooled. So something about the $5,000, maybe that'll help them. I don't know. But anyway, I was kind of like, oh, all of these people are homeschooled. Now, the woman who has 7 children, that wouldn't surprise me. But I'm like, why are they all homeschooled? I like homeschooling, but it just was like, that's unusual to get a group of 5 people together and 4 of them are homeschooled. I thought it was unusual. Then we see Yolanda and her team. They're looking at the pictures that the moms have, there was a professional photographer who took the pictures, and the moms went through and selected what photo they felt was best representative of their child. And, Yolanda and her team are looking at the pictures, and Yolanda is like, I'm missing the clean and natural looks of the girls from a couple of days ago. That shows their age, and Yolanda and Allie, Yolanda is like, well, Allie, could you call the house and ask them to meet us at the house at 6:30? And then we're at the house, and we have Yolanda giving them notes and stuff. And with Brianna and Jessica, she's like, now Brianna is the Asian, Jessica, they like Asian-y kind of looking. Jessica, you were very feisty. And the mom, she feels that, the mom chose the wrong image. Like, she's like, you chose this one, I would have chose this one. I think it's better because of this. Then we have Mackenzie and Teresa. And Mackenzie, she's like, you look so posed in the picture that you chose. And I also saw you say shh to your mom, and I didn't like it. And then Mackenzie is like, well, blah, 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 and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And Mackenzie is supposed to be the girl who has social anxiety and so shy, but she has a lot of excuses and commentary for somebody who's shy. And she was giving me social anxiety. And then we had, I don't know how social anxiety works, but I'm just joking. So then we have Athena and Diana. And she's like, you look indifferent in your photograph. Athena is the little brown girl with the white appearing mother. And then she's like, I'm not feeling your soul in these pictures. I think the high heels made you feel uncomfortable and your eyes are dead. I think it was the wrong choice for a picture as well. So that's the theme, that the mothers didn't choose the best pictures of the ones that they got, because they learn in most of them. And then we have Michaela and Karen. And Yolanda says that she liked how they worked together, but that Michaela's eyes are dead as well. What have we all learned from Tyra? You got to smize. You got to, give a little intensity or something with your eyes. Well, I can't wait to see the video to see. Because one time I tried to take some pictures following what I learned off of America's Next Top Model. Mess. It was just like 2 or 3, but they were funny as hell, but they were not. I would have lost. And then we see Lillian and Kat, and she's like, it was smart to pay the taxi $50, but I'm not really loving your face in this, in this picture. But the top 2 couples are you, Layla, and Kat, Lillian and Kat, and Michaela and Karen. So you're at the top 2. And the winner is, and I'm like, I'm rooting for Michaela, and then Michaela wins, yay, Brown Michaela and Brown Woman Karen, and they win $5,000, and number 2 is a little salty, Lillian and Kat. You know, we're gonna expect that because it's TV. And then in the middle is Athena and Diana and Brianna and Jessica, and at the bottom is Mackenzie and Teresa. So then we have Mackenzie. She gets upset then, and then a little bit later, she's still upset, and she feels like her personality was critiqued, you know, and she's like, you know, you're my mom, not my client. I'm supposed to talk like this to you. And, you know, she's like upset, and, you know, everybody handles stuff differently. But Lillian has no pity for the child. She like, you know, oh, right. Mackenzie cries, and then Lillian and Kat are shady. Lillian, when Yolanda was there, Lillian was like, you know, the girl is crying, and she's like looking off to the side. I guess it wasn't exactly shady. She probably couldn't help. She wanted to laugh, but she didn't laugh in her face. But that was kind of like, why is she laughing and the girl is crying? But I guess she didn't feel that it was sincere. And then later on in her interview at the end of the show, Lillian is like, you know, Yolanda thought that, you know, Mackenzie was mad at her mom, and Mackenzie was mad at her mom. So, and I think that I really deserve to cry because I got second place, which I thought was funny. Like, second place, that's good. What you crying for? But that was, what was the name of this show? Making a Model. That was Making a Model. And I liked it. I'm going to watch it again. And, you know, I'm glad that it's only 5 girls and their mothers, and that, you know, it's 2.5 brownish girls. That's exciting. And, you know, I like that Yolanda seems healthy and wholesome, and her child seems healthy and wholesome. So that's what I got. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Thank you for new subscribers and old subscribers. I really appreciate you. And if you're not a subscriber, welcome. Come on and hit that button and join the Fabulite family officially. And thank you for sharing the video and commenting and liking. It doesn't cost you anything to comment, like, or subscribe, and it helps me out a little bit, I guess. One day it's going to help me out. And today is your day to, you visited, you like the content, hit something, help a sister out. But regardless, whatever you do, you know you're the #1 stunner. So be you, be fabulous you. Be fabulous you. Be you, be fabulous you.